What is up, everybody? Welcome to it. It's Garage Inc. right here on the Asylum Radio Network on your Facebook page. You guys like, share, subscribe, share it to your friends. Of course, joining tonight, Darkenside, the West Coast Cats, which I love. I just said it, fresh West Coast blood in the house finally. Besides myself, it's nice. So welcome, fellas. How you guys doing?
Doing good.
Awesome. How's the weather up there in like the Pacific Northwest? I guess technically, that's technically, yeah. Is it clichély raining right now?
No,
the summer's been pretty good.
Yeah,
hell
it's
yeah.
really hot, or it's really just like 75.
Right.
Yeah, we get some cloudy days, but really, like as far as compared to normal, it's not been bad at all. It's been a good summer.
Hell yeah. I think we're going like through. Keep on hearing people's telling me we're going through the tropical storm remnants of whatever the new storm is. So we've been under like a rain cloud for almost 3 weeks. So I feel like I'm in the Pacific Northwest right now. I hate the rain. God, I hate the rain.
We got to trade it for summer.
Yeah.
For sure. I mean, we get like 8 months out of the year. So this is like our break.
There you go. Yeah, you guys earned it for sure. So like I said, joined by Darkenside. They were, if they sound familiar, it's because we've had them on once before. They were a featured band on the Word on the Asylum Radio Network on the radio side. And if you're not subscribed to that, all you got to do is download the app, the Live 365 app, search Asylum, and there you go. You got it right there. So with the new single, When I Cave In, off the album Descent, tell everybody what you guys are about. Who's Darkenside? And if they don't know who you are yet, which they should, let them know why.
Darkenside. We're just a bunch of sad boys, writing heavy metal music. We're just taking things we see out there, especially with how the world's changed so drastically, over the last, I've been around for a while, so it seems like it's been a while at this point, but since the band's been around, so going on 7 years, just social climates, all the political things going on, and then just the way people like react with each other, and then the pandemic, like it's just a lot in there. And it's just a lot of metaphors kind of painting the things that we see, and then we just try and top it off with catchy riffs and real bangers.
Nice. So explain a little bit, because I know the new single When I Cave In, that's powerful. That's dare I say it's a power ballad, but it is one of the it's a clean song for you guys, so to speak. It's different speed, different tune, just a banger, just a fucking banger. I'm gonna say it's a fucking banger from you guys. I love it. We're spinning it here, of course. Give the backstory on it, because I know it's got a powerful undertone to it. So just kind of explain that one out.
So all right, so Bryson and I we went to a school called Toledo. And growing up, that's where I was. We didn't have much. I grew up kind of in a poor family, and we met a kid. Well, Bryson was a little bit younger than I was, but me and the group of friends I was with, we met a kid, and he became one of our closest friends growing up, and his name was Travis. He's actually the picture of the guy at the back of the video. Well, Travis and I were really close growing up. He was kind of like an older brother to me, and I was always just chasing after him, trying to be as cool as he was, and everyone loved him. He's a great guy. And at some point, you grow up and everyone kind of goes their separate ways. And, I hadn't talked to him in a long time, and things went sour. And eventually, he took his own life through depression and other things that were occurring that I had no idea was happening, because he just kept it all in, kept it to himself. And I kind of just thought, this is a good chance to do something for my friend. And it was actually Bryson's idea. He brought it up to me, and I was like, I love that idea.
Oh yeah.
So that's what the song's about. It's just, kind of telling the story that I never actually got from him, but I've always had this ability where I can kind of like look at a situation and put myself in it. And so I just kind of wrote the song like if that was happening to me and I'd taken the same choices, maybe that's how I would have put it into words, trying to explain myself. And that's basically what When I Cave In is about.
Yeah, hell yeah. Like I said, the single, if you've not checked it out, go check it out. As soon as we're done here, you can hop up over to the YouTube page. The single is called When I Cave In. The band right now, of course, I'm joined by is Darkenside. So what is the scene like? Explain it to anybody it's not out on the West Coast or in the Pacific, Northwest, or just basically the Portland, Seattle, Washington State area. What is that rock scene like? Like overall, from I guess when you guys were on the come up to this day, like just any differences from anywhere else,
Well, for us, Seattle's been actually quite difficult compared to Portland to kind of break into. We haven't played a lot of shows. I personally, since I've joined the band, haven't played any shows up north in Seattle yet. But Portland, it's mainly kind of a heavy scene for the most part. We're actually kind of one of the least heavy bands kind of down in that area.
Yeah.
It's kind of hard for us to get a lot of shows with some of the bigger local bands because a lot of them are a lot heavier than we are.
Mm-hmm.
But we are getting some younger guys that are starting to come up. We just recently played a show with one of them, and they're kind of in the same ballpark for sound with us. So it's kind of exciting us to play more shows with some bands like that.
Yeah, hell yeah.
And more, they're heavy, but they got that pop kind of rock, that catchiness to them, like that early 2010, 2000s kind of metalcore with that rock radio influence stuff. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I grew up on that shit, so it was just
I often call us butt rock or buttcore. I call us
buttcore.
Butt rock and metalcore mixed together.
Yeah, same. I think I grew up on the grunge and then graduated to new metal, and then it's kind of always just been there. Like I'm a grunge new metal kid. I don't really know what to call, but yeah, I feel you there. They call it butt rock, radio rock. I love it. I'm no shame here at all.
We just embrace it. We don't care what you call it. We love it.
Exactly. We just jump in there. Yeah. We guarantee we'll see you or your mom and them at the same show that we're at. I promise you that.
We definitely attract the moms at our shows.
Yeah. We have a huge variety of ages. Young people and very old people.
Yeah. That's awesome though. And that's kind of just a testament to rock. There's a lot of people that want to say rock is dead and pop's the way to go. You got country going pop and everything's just pop. And I say that rock maybe took a nap for maybe 3 years, but then you look at our landscape now of rock music, and some of the heavier rap artists or wannabe rap artists or whatever you want to call them are now going the rock route. Machine Gun Kelly is probably the biggest example, and they're making bank. They're catching on, just catching on and cashing in. So I said rock's not dead. It just people are scared. People won't throw a moniker, oh, you're a metalhead or whatever. And it's like, man, you just gotta listen to music. I promise you it's more powerful than anything to do with an ass and smacking it. I promise you that. Just listen to the music.
I mean, you nailed it right there.
Yeah, for sure. So in you guys' travels, touring and just locally or abroad, what's some of your favorite venues you've ever played, or some of the venues that you kind of eye down that you say one day when we stop in such and such, we're playing at that venue?
Oh man, I mean, I haven't experienced it.
Yeah, we haven't been as active, due to the pandemic, and right before that is actually when we picked up almost half of the current lineup. So some of them haven't got to experience any of that.
Yeah.
As far as venues, though, we some of the best venues I want to play are actually local to us, and we just actually haven't even made it into them yet. Showbox would be a great one up in Seattle,
or the Roseland Theater, or the Crystal Ball in Portland.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, we played in a lot of venues in Portland, but some of the really big ones we still haven't stepped into as far as performing goes.
Yeah. Okay. Right. So when it all began, I guess individually, Ron, you go first. What made you want to be a musician? When did you start? What was the time where you were where it went from just something you did to kill time to this is what I'm going to do. This is who I'm going to be.
Well, I think it was always there. I mean, even as soon as I could make noise, I was making noise. My mom said I was singing gibberish to strangers since I was 3.
Nice.
And my family, I was always singing, I guess. So I don't know. Around the age of 13 is when I decided I wanted an instrument. So I asked for an electric guitar, and I just kind of fell in love with that. I was already singing, but kids sing with the radio. I was particularly good at it, if that meant anything. But I did come from a family of musicians on my dad's side, so I didn't spend a lot of time with them growing up because my parents weren't together. But genetically, there was probably something there, because I loved it absurdly more than the rest of my mom's children and cousins and stuff. Like I definitely stood out in that regard, because they were always making me sing karaoke and stuff from it. Even when I was like 5, they just thought it was adorable. And then around 13, I got my first electric guitar. As I was progressing through middle school and high school and stuff, I started listening to heavier music, and that was like, those riffs sound dope. They sound like they're hard to play. That's a challenge. I accept the challenge. Started getting good at guitar. And then you realize the most fun things to play on guitar, at least for me, were always metal riffs and rock riffs. So I'm going to sing and play. I'm going to try that out. I'm going to see where that goes. Oh, shit, people like it. Okay. All right, I'm good at this. Maybe I should keep going. And then people say keep going, and you're like, all right, I'll keep going. And then eventually you're doing it, and it's all you really know, and that's all you really want. And that's kind of my story. Like, there's been up and downs, tons of challenges. You constantly run into like new things to solve, and especially with the music industry, it's constantly changing.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
for sure.
But yeah, that's my story. I guess inclined to it, kind of fell in love and just never stopped.
Yeah, hell, dude, that's awesome. It's always a meant to be situation. What about you, Bryce?
Yeah.
Oh man, I think the first time that I even started the musical journey, I think I was with my dad in his truck, and he turned on the radio, and I think Eruption by Van Halen came on.
Yeah.
When I heard that solo, I was just like, I was like, what is that? And my dad, he doesn't have a musical bone in his body, and he's trying to emulate what he's doing, and that's not even what he's doing. Like, oh my God. And then I started, slowly listening to hair metal, that kind of era. And then as soon as I heard Metallica, that's when I wanted to get a guitar. I heard the Black Album first. So I didn't, do the order that most people do, but I listened to the Black Album first. And then I think when I was 12 years old, I asked for a guitar for Christmas, and they bought me some $40 first act guitar and this tiny peeny little amp that was big. I just started pretending to know what I was doing and playing along with the songs, even though I wasn't even close. But eventually started to go on YouTube University and, watching videos, learning how to play. And I just kind of self-taught myself how to play at that point. I didn't take any lessons or anything, but I just had an ear for it. I could hear the notes at some point and, remember it. And it kind of took off from there. And then, I started getting interested in producing and stuff. And I remember I had this little looper pedal, and I finally got a, mid-level guitar when I was about a senior in high school. And I could loop something for 15 seconds. And then I just kind of kept doing stuff like that. And then it turned into me going to school for recording. And then, now I got this huge setup in my living room in my house. So that's kind of where I'm at. And I've been in one other band before this one, and it was just straight, the emo core stuff. And I kind of quit playing music for a while. And then I met Ron's brother, who I played sports with in high school growing up. And he saw me at a party. He was just like, hey, you still doing music? And I was just like, oh, no, not really. And he kind of mentioned, he's like, well, my brother's band's starting up. You should hit him up and see if you can join. And so basically that's what I did. And now we're here.
Yeah, hell yeah, dude. So you played sports in high school then? What'd you play?
I played football, basketball, baseball. I mean, in high school, I even played soccer and did track a couple years.
There you go.
Growing up, football and basketball are my two sports, and then football ended up being my favorite out of all of them. Yeah.
Nice.
Sports were a big part of music. Was just something I was always known as the metal kid, so a metal song would come on, and all my teammates would be like, "Hey, you know this song?" and do all this stuff. Yeah, I do.
I feel
I know that one.
That
I know the whole album.
yeah, I feel like. What about you, Ron? Did you play sports? You play sports growing up?
Yeah. I did baseball, football. I didn't do a lot of basketball. And I did track. Yeah, I was actually really, really fast growing up. Not so much
Nice.
these days.
Yeah, right. That's it.
Yeah.
That's a misconception too, dude. Because they like people always think that metalheads don't love sport. Dude, I'm a sports junkie. Like I played it in high school, played it when I was little, and then as soon as you hit adulthood, you realize that you're not going to do it anymore, or you got to find something else. You know, sports is kind of a weekend
Yeah.
gig nowadays. Yeah, yeah. So yeah, that's badass. So that's pretty cool. So
Yeah.
like through your travels as either a band or just individual artists, what's kind of the best advice you've ever got from anybody, your parents, the trash man, the dude down the street, just like, dude, this is a hard industry, you know, like all facets of this industry. It's cutthroat almost to say. So kind of what's the best advice that you've gotten or that you could give to like the next band out there grinding, trying to do it and maybe about to give up because they just don't see that light at the end of the tunnel yet?
I would say look for other bands in your area that are kicking ass, right? And I would say, you know, befriend them, look up to them and try and figure out what they're doing right, you know. Look up the guys that are figuring it out, that are in your area, that are actually not so far above you that they have the, you know, they're willing to talk to you about it and kind of explain what they're thinking, because they've already gone through it. They've already seen it and they've seen what works and what doesn't. Like just because they're doing good now doesn't mean they didn't try a million things before they got there. You know what I mean? So
Right.
Hit them up if they're doing well, see what they're doing. If you can emulate it in a way that works for you and your band, try and do that, you know, because a lot of the stuff right now it's in flux. You're seeing what works, you're seeing what doesn't, and you're going to throw money at stuff that doesn't work, and that's going to suck. So the more you can limit that by getting somebody who's got the experience and who's doing well, the better.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
I think my biggest thing would be, besides that, is I mean, it sounds kind of like cliche, but I was like, good music, like making good songs, good songwriting is like a huge factor.
Yeah.
Kind of stand out in this, you know, huge pond of music. I would say that making music that's memorable to people over just, you know, something like, yeah, that was good, but if someone comes back to it and listens to it again, I think that's kind of like what kind of makes you stand out. I mean, in our band especially, like we're really picky about our songs, and it takes us a long time to write songs for that matter, because we're not that band that just goes, you know, oh, we wrote 40 songs for this next album, we had to shave it down to 20. Like it'll take us a whole year to write 6 songs because we're so picky and like very
Yeah, we'll have 20 ideas, but
Yeah.
yeah, we
six of them were like, we like this enough, let's polish these up.
yeah.
Right on. Right on.
Yeah, we'll have
Yeah.
a lot of like beginnings, like maybe all the way through a chorus, and maybe no lyrics, but just like the starts of like really nice, solid songs. But there'll be something about these specific ones that we really want to focus on.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, you're just now tuned in. You are tuned in to the Asylum Inc. right here. Excuse me, Garage Inc. on the Asylum Radio Network. I'm trying to multitask and read at the same time. I got Darkenside joining us. Tell them where you guys can find all your music. YouTube, of course, and the Asylum Radio Network. But where else can you pick up this music?
It should be in most places. I think we use the In Grooves distribution to our label, so it's definitely going to be on Amazon Music, Spotify, Apple, iTunes, probably a lot of other smaller stations. Definitely YouTube. Yeah, it's probably everywhere.
Nice. So with the pandemic, and I know you guys being out on the West Coast, it hit differently. It is what it is. Without getting into the whole political point of view on it, it just hits different on the West Coast for this whole lockdown situation and you know, mask or no mask and what you should do and where you shouldn't go. If any, what does it change for you guys in how you either not necessarily write your music, but like the get-togethers to write, or clearly it's affecting tours, but just is it for the better? Has it kind of helped to just almost be grounded, so to speak, to stay home and concentrate on the music, or is it almost an aggravation?
Definitely for the
Yeah, it's a little bit of both.
Yeah.
As far as writing, though, we have a particular way that we do things, you know, and we're still able to get together. We're not so far apart that we're not able to, you know, and we just keep track of each other's health as best we can.
Nice.
But as far as like getting together, like our writing process can be done completely separate, but we enjoy doing it together. So that's a big part of it. Like Bryson can just have an idea, not share it with any of us until he's like, yeah, this is what I want them to check out, and then bring it to the table. And if we like it, we just kind of, over maybe like a messenger or whatever kind of group chat we have, we're just throwing ideas around and it evolves into where it's going. Bryson's kind of the main composition guy right now anyway. So like if he's got an idea, we usually roll with it unless there's just something about it. But he's got a good head on his shoulders, a good ear for those things. So generally we're almost always pleased. So he'll bring that to the table, and then our drummer will kind of look at it. Bryson will usually, maybe program something in there for him to kind of like go with, He's writing the breakdowns. He already has that basic idea for like the kick patterns and stuff. And so our drummer will take that and he'll just evolve it to where he's at, because he's kind of his own guy and he's amazing. So we're completely okay with him doing that. And then at the end, we'll throw on some vocals and some lead work, and boom, you got a little song there.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, like I said, joining me is Darkenside. The single is When I Cave In. You can find it right here on the Asylum Radio Network. Download the Live 365 app. It's free, because why would you want to pay for a radio app? And enjoy the new tune. Thank you, fellas, so much. It's been awesome. Thank you for your time, and I hope we will see you again soon down the road.
Yeah, thanks for having us, man.
Having us on.
All right.